guys, hi, very good evening to all of you and welcome to the session. This is your master teacher Harsh Priyam and I am in front of all of you with the last topic. Last topic क्या है? So the last topic is word problems in pair of linear equations in two variable. So we are dealing with class 10 CBSE NCERT chapter 3rd, which is pair of linear equations in two variable, and we are going to discuss the last session of it, second last you can say precisely, the second last session of it, which is going to be the word problems. So now we'll be discussing on that. Chalo, let's start our today's session then. So here I guess we can directly jump into. So let me just tell you one thing that we have already talked about in the previous two sessions. First session was about the graph, where we can solve any equation using the graphical method, and the second session where we had talked about was where I guess we had talked about substitution method and elimination method. Yeah. So in those two sessions I have precisely taught you about that how to solve the equation. So I don't think that now it is needed that every time I'll be telling you about solving the equation. So I think that if I make the equations, if I tell you how to make those equations, that would be pretty okay, and rest you can solve it on your own. So I'm just assuming that thing. Okay, chalo, so let's start. Here's the first question for all of you. The first question, it says the difference between two numbers is 26. I don't know these two numbers, so I think you would have understood that we are going to assume those two numbers to be x and y. So find them. Obviously the question is saying find them. So find those two numbers. So we are going to assume that those two numbers are x and y. Now read it. Difference between them. So x minus y is 26. Cool. That's great. Is 26, and one number is 3 times the another. One number. So I don't know which is that one number, but it looks like that x must be a larger number, because larger minus smaller is 26. So obviously it should be larger. So question says one number is 3 times the another, means one number, if I assume x, is equals to 3 times the other, means 3y, isn't it? So we can simply use substitution, elimination, whatever you wish for. So you can just put the value of x here in this. 3y minus y is 2y. 2y is equals to 26. 2y is 26, so y is 13. Y is 13 means x is 39. Fine. So this is pretty simple. X is 39 and y is 13. So very easily we got it. Although I'll be just solving the equations for you, this was pretty easy. So that's why I just solve it. Okay. Chalo. So let's start then. Here we move on to the next question. So y is 13 and x is 39. Yo. Here we go to the next question. Next one. Now please read it out carefully. Read them carefully. So this question basically says that the taxi charges in a city consist of fixed charge together with the charge for distance covered. Okay, so how does it work, I'll tell you. Basically that this question is about that if someone hires a taxi, so he will have to pay a fixed amount. So fixed amount, say for example, if you hired a taxi, so the taxi charges will start from 50 rupees or 20 rupees, something like that. So that 20 rupees or 50 rupees, that is called the fixed charge. No matter, even if you go for 1 meter or 1.5, means a half kilometer, they will charge you that minimum amount, even if you go for 1 meter. So that is called as fixed charge. Now the question says that there is a fixed charge, so let's assume that fixed charge to be x rupees, that even if you don't travel, you have just booked it out, or you just travel for 1 meter, then also you have to pay x rupees. After that, there is a charge associated with distance covered. So distance covered mean basically that charge is per kilometer charge generally. So here also it would be like that only, we'll figure it out. So here it says for a distance of 10 kilometer the charge paid is rupees 105. So yeah, distance per kilometer. So means charge per kilometer. So here what you have to assume, that you have to assume that the next charge, which is distance covered, based on that you have to assume that this is rupees y per kilometer, rupees y per kilometer, and this is rupees x per kilometer. Rupees x is the fixed charge. Now if you have to calculate the entire fare, so now read the question. For a distance of 10 kilometer, now please pay attention, for distance of 10 kilometer means obviously the fixed charge has to be paid, plus along with that per kilometer charge has also to be paid. So this means that you will be paying 10y rupees per kilometer, 10 kilometers, so 10y. 10y plus x is total fare, and total fare is paid as 105 rupees. So 105 rupees. Next, And for a journey of 15 kilometers, the charge paid is 155. So again, for 15 kilometers, fixed charge will be there plus 15 times y should be equal to 155. You got your two equations. Two equations, two unknown, you have to just solve it and get the right answer. You can just simply subtract them. 5y is equals to 50 and y equals to 10, so 10 rupees per kilometer. So if that is 10 rupees per kilometer, I guess the fixed charge is 5 rupees. Eureka, isn't it? So here we don't have to only find x and y. So once you will find x and y, I'm able to find x is equals to 5 and y equals to 10. How much does a passenger have to pay for a traveling of distance of 25 kilometer? So every kilometer 10 rupees. So 10 into 25, 250 rupees, and the fixed charge is 5 rupees. So the final amount which a passenger have to pay for 25 kilometer distance is 255 rupees. That's what you have to solve. Okay, I think it's easy now, isn't it? Basic mathematics, yeah, it's easy. Cool. So solving this, cut. Getting the value of x as 5 fixed charge, per kilometer charge y equals to 10, and the person has to pay 255 rupees for the full traveling 25 kilometers. Okay, moving on. Here's the next question. The next question says a fraction becomes 9 by 11 if 2 added to both numerator and the denominator. Okay, so I am assuming that here probably we don't know the numerator and the denominator, and even you will be getting a confirmation. Find the fraction. Here it is written that we have to find the fraction. So I don't know the fraction. Okay, so if you also don't know along with me, then along with me you should also assume that fraction is, let the fraction to be x by y. Pretty simple. Now read the first statement. Fraction becomes 9 by 11. Means this will be equal to 9 by 11. When? If 2 is added both the numerator and the denominator. Means if you add 2 in the numerator, if you add 2 in the denominator in both the cases, then you will get it equals to 9 by 11. Cool? Cool. If 3 is added to both numerator and the denominator, it becomes 5 by 6. Means in the same fraction, if you are going to add 3, x plus 3 and y plus 3 in both the cases. If 3 is added to both numerator and denominator, it becomes 5 by 6. So this is going to be 5 by 6. Eureka. Okay, and then you have to do cross multiplication, cut, and getting the final value. Okay, so like this you have to solve it and get the right answer. I'll just show you the solution. So the same thing, x by 2 plus y by 2 equals to 9 by 11. Solving it, getting first equation. Then x by 3 plus y upon y by 3 equals to 5 by 6. Solving it, getting the equation. Solving both the equations, equation 1 and equation 2, you will be getting x is equals to 7 and y equals to 9. So your final fraction is 7 by 9. Fine? Okay, chalo, let's move on. Here's the next question. The next question says 5 years hence. Now this is again a beautiful question, and here you have to actually apply a common sense, or common convention. What is that common convention? That common convention says actually that whenever you are solving a age related problem, okay, whenever you are solving a age related problem in this situation, most of the time in the last line they would be they will be specifically mentioning that you have to find their present ages, but sometimes they just might ask you find the ages or find the age of daughter and father, something like that. So you have to assume by default that they have asked the present age, first thing. Now second case, sometimes they might ask that find their ages 5 years back or 5 years ago, 5 years hence, something like that. But in that situation also, the variable which you will assume, so here you will have to assume that let the age of Jacob will be x and let the age of Jacob and his son, so let the age of his son be y, something like that. So whenever you are assuming the ages, you have to always assume their present age. No matter whatsoever they are asking, you will always assume the present age. That is the funda which you have to apply here. Okay, so please do not deviate from that. So here there are two persons, one is Jacob and one is son. So I am assuming that Jacob's present age, mind it, I am writing present age is x years, and his son's present age is y years. Fine. Now I will read it out. I'll read the statement. 5 years hence means after. So if right now Jacob is at x, 5 years hence he will become x plus 5, And obviously if his son is at y right now, 5 years hence he will also become y plus 5. Okay, fine, that is great. Now after this, so now what the question says, the age of Jacob will be 3 times that of his son. Age of Jacob will be means equals to 3 times the age of his son. 3 times the age of his son. First equation got very easily. Okay, next, 5 years ago. 5 years ago means back. So if back, right now his age is x, 5 years back he will be x minus 5, and so his son will also be y minus 5. Cool? Now it's saying 5 years ago Jacob's age was means equals to 7 times that of his son's age. So you have made it 7 times. Again, you have to do substitution, elimination, whatever you can do that, and you have to find the answer. So if I'm not wrong, from here you will get x is equals to 3y plus 10, and from here if you'll solve, you'll get x is equals to 7y and minus 30. Minus 30, you have to just solve these 2 equations, 2 unknowns, you'll get the answer. Pakka. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, y should be something around 10 and x should be 40, something like that, what I feel. A rough calculation which I have done. See here, same thing, x and y, they have assumed the present ages, x plus 5, y plus 5. The first equation, solving this, 3y plus 10, and then second situation, y minus 5, x minus 5, solving them, getting that y equals to 10 years, his son's age, and x is equals to 40 years, Jacob's age. Okay, chalo, let's move on. Here we go to the next question. Oh, wait a second, it's not over yet. Believe me, it's not over yet. So this is information to all of you, and this information is about online education at Vedantu, how Vedantu is transforming lives, how Vedantu is touching millions of lives, millions of students, and how students are getting benefited. So it's just a simple thing that earlier students were facing a lot of problem like problems of doubts, notes, sessions, assignments, test and competitive examinations, choice of schedule, choice of even language. These all problems were faced by students, and in fact there was almost no support on that. Not in an online support, not an offline support. In fact, so if I talk about choice of schedule or choice of language, even the offline coaching did not use to provide these type of supports. But Vedantu has come up with a solution for all of them, and Vedantu have solved all these problems for you guys, because of the love and support which you guys have showered on Vedantu, the kind of trust which you have given to Vedantu, and what Vedantu have done or how they have done it. So there are multiple ways to solve it which Vedantu has taken. So first, if I talk about doubts, so doubts, for that Vedantu has made a doubt app, or precisely if you can say that in class doubts are also taken care. So say for example, right now if you want to ask me a doubt, I can't unmute you on YouTube, you can't post a picture on YouTube. But in Vedantu's platform, Wave platform, where we do live teaching, you can get unmuted. I can even uncam you and you can ask me your doubts. Isn't that great thing? Notes are available in your login, so you don't have to save it. I don't have to send it to you manually. It's all automatic. Test and assignment, periodical test and assignment is there on the Vedantu platform itself. It all integrated. Competitive exam, schedule and choice of language, yes, they are also provided. And not only this much. Once you buy a subscription of Vedantu, it's not that only you will get these much, but over and above it, you will get unlimited live classes. Now, when I say unlimited live classes, it actually means unlimited. Means, say for example, you're a student of class 10th, but you are pretty much interested in knowing some basics of your class 9th, which you would have forgotten some earlier time, or you want to get into class 8th, you want to just check out something. Yes, you can do that. You don't have to pay again. Say for example, if you are in class 10th and you want to go for a JEE class, you want to see a neat class that how teachers are teaching there, and can I get some extra information also? Vedantu says yes, you can. You don't have to pay again and again. You don't have to pay an IIT fees. You are in 10th right now, pay this much, go to that batch and get the information, whatever you wish for. That is the beauty of Vedantu subscription. We don't ask every time money from you. You have to just pay once. That's the subscription fees, and then entire Vedantu forum, entire Vedantu organization is open for you, for your help, for your support, for your betterment. Okay, and all micro courses, crash courses, even revision courses, midterm courses, all these courses will be free for you. You don't have to pay even a penny for it. Isn't that great? And apart from that, obviously performance reports would be given to you, personalized attention through personal teachers would be given to you. So these all facilities obviously come in the box as a compliment. Okay, so what you need to do, you just need to go to this link which says vdnt.in/ytpro. It would not be clickable here, so you have to go to the description box, you'll find the link, or you just remember it, vdnt.in/ytpro. Write it down, put enter, you will be redirected to a page where you have to navigate and you will be seeing all the informations, fill all your informations, whatever details are required. Then at the end, just use this code HPEPRO, because using this code will fetch you extra 15% discount on whatever discounted price you are getting. So on that, over and above that, you will get a 15% discount, and then Eureka, you're good to go. Okay, so you'll be able to use this, and then whatever would be the best price, you'll get that. Okay, chalo. So let's move on. Here's the next question now. So that was an information. The next question is, a lending library has a fixed charge for the first 3 days, okay, and an additional charge for each day thereafter. Okay, kind of that taxi kind of thing. Only here the first 3 days are free. Okay, so obviously if there is a fixed charge, you have to assume that let this fixed charge be X rupees, and thereafter after 3 days per day there will be charge each day thereafter. So there is per day charge also, additional charge. I am assuming Y rupees per day. I have taken 2 charges, fine. Now read the statement. Sarita paid rupees 27 for a book kept for 7 days. Okay, so in the 7 days, I hope you are understanding that the first 3 days was already free because of X rupees, because either anyway a person will have to pay the fixed charge. So Sarita would have paid X rupees, pakka. In that, she would have got 3 days free. But after that, she kept it for 7 days altogether. Means she took 4 extra days. She kept it for 4 extra days. And for every day, she had to pay Y rupees. For every day, she had to pay Y rupees. So 4 days, Y rupees per day means she paid 4 Y rupees extra. Isn't it? X plus 4Y. And altogether, she paid 27 rupees. So it is equals to 27. Cool. Okay. While Susie paid rupees 21 for the book she kept for 5 days. Okay, so 5 days again. So if Susie has taken it for 5 days, in that she would have got 3 days free. So for 3 days, the basic charge is X rupees, which everyone pays. After 3 days, she kept 2 days extra, because 5 days means 2 days extra. So for 2 days, every day she has to pay Y rupees. So 2 4 means 2Y, and that gives us equals to 21. Balle. We got the equation, you have to just solve it and get the right answer. So solve it, minus it, you'll get Y equals to 3 if I am not wrong. Yeah, Y equals to 3. And then Y equals to 3 will give you X equals to 15. X 15 and Y 3. Let's see the solution as well. X 15 and Y 3, yeah. I did it right. Okay, so I hope you all got it. And if you all got it, let's move on then. Here's the next question. The next question says, please pay attention. So the next question says, Yash scored 40 marks in a test, getting 3 marks for each right answer and losing 1 marks for each wrong answer. So losing 1 marks, I guess you are understanding negative marking. Okay, so -1 for a wrong answer. Okay, fine. Had 4 marks been awarded for each correct answer and 2 marks been deducted for each incorrect answer, the Yash would have scored 50 marks. Okay, how many questions were there in the test? Okay, I don't know how many questions were there in the test, but I am able to figure it out that there are 2 types of questions. One is right question, one is wrong question. Means one is right answer, one is wrong answer. So in the first, I don't know, but I'll have to assume that correct answers or the questions which he marked correct. So correct, they were altogether X questions. And the questions which he marked wrong were altogether Y questions. Fine. Now please read the first statement. 3 marks for each right. So X right, he has corrected X question. So for every right, he will get 3 marks. Means he will get 3X marks. And for every wrong question, he will get a -1. So Y questions he had attempted wrong. Means -1 into Y, that will give him -Y number. And altogether, he has fetched 40 marks. He has scored 40 marks. So should be equal to 40. Yup. Now the question says that had this mark of 3 marks for right answer would not have been 3, but it would have been 4. This would have been the situation. So, and -2 would have been the negative marking. So he would have scored 50. So 4 for right, x questions were right. So he will get 4x altogether. 4 marks for every right question, and minus 2 for wrong. So minus 2y, and is equals to 50. We got the equation, isn't it? And that's too easy. So you have to just subtract it, cut, if I'm not wrong. So x would be equal to 10. If I'm not wrong, x would be equals to 10, and x 10, 30, and wait a second, x 10, no, 2, 25, okay, sorry, x is not 10, x is, if I'm not wrong, x is looking like 15, yeah, x is looking like 15, and y is looking like 5. So that is what it is looking like. Let's check the answer as well, 15 and 5. So 5 and 15, yeah, answers are right. So you have to just solve this same equation, 3x minus y equals to 40, 4x minus 2y equals to 50. You have to solve them. You'll get x equals to 15 and y equals to 5. Simple calculation. Okay. Chalo, let's move on. Here's the next question. This is the next question. This next question says what? It says places A and B are 100 kilometers apart on a highway. One car starts from A and another from B at the same time. If the cars travel in the same direction at different speeds, they meet in 5 hours. Okay, fine. So what's the situation? Let's see it first. So this is a highway. This is point A, this is point B. Places A and B are 100 kilometers apart. Okay, fine, that's great. 100 kilometers apart. Cool. One car starts from A and another from B at the same time. If the car travel in the same direction, okay, so same direction means what? That if A is moving towards right, B will also move towards right. Okay, that's what it means. Let me just make the diagram a little smaller, otherwise it will be tough for us to accommodate it. So say for example you have AB like this. This is A, this is B, this is 100 kilometers. Okay, fine. And A is going here with a speed of x kilometer per hour, kmph. And from here B, there is another vehicle going on with a speed of y kmph, y kilometers per hour. Okay, fine. Now, if the cars travel in the same direction at different speeds, they meet in 5 hours. So obviously, if they are traveling in the same direction, they will meet at some this point. I don't know which point, but at some this point, like this. So if they are starting at the same time and meeting at the same time, so obviously time taken by B in reaching here, this much, and the time taken by A in reaching here, this much, should be same. Are you understanding it or not? Because both of them started at the same time, both met at the same time. So obviously time is going to be same for both of them. Okay, that's cool. So first of all, I am going to write time taken by A should be equals to time taken by B. Okay, fine. Now, are you understanding one thing? That, fine. Are you understanding one thing? Yeah, what's that one thing? That's one thing is that here, the distance traveled by A and the distance traveled by B. So if I remove this T, so this would be distance traveled by B and this would be distance traveled by A, correct? So I don't know how much okay, they meet in 5 hours. Okay, time is given, man, sorry. I have not seen that. So if they're in the same direction, they meet in 5 hours. Okay, very sorry for that. So time is already given. So time taken by A and time taken by B both is 5 hours. Very sorry. That's why I was thinking that I'm missing something. So it's 5 hours is already given. Fine. So now it's pretty easy, man. It's pretty easy. Let me just tell you why. It's easy because I'm able to see an equation here. Distance traveled by A. Because A will be traveling from here and it will be meeting the B here. And distance traveled by B will be starting from here, meeting there. So I'm able to see an equation that distance traveled by A is equals to 100 plus distance traveled by B. Very, very simple. Distance traveled by A is equals to 100 plus distance traveled by B. So I'll write the equation. Distance traveled by A should be equals to distance traveled by B plus 100. Simple? Okay, simple. Now, do you know the formula of distance? I would say yes, we all know that. We all know speed is equals to distance by time. So distance is equals to speed into time. Yes, speed into time. So speed into time for A. So for A, speed is x. So x, and into time. speed into time. Time is 5 for all of them, so it will be 5x equals to, same for b. So for b it is y, so I'll write 5y, speed into time, and plus 100, so plus 100. I got my first equation. If you want, you can actually further simplify it. So if you'll simplify it, 5 will go, and you will have x equals to y plus 20. First equation we got. Okay, that's cool. Now, next statement is if they travel towards each other. So there you'll get a different diagram. Let me just make that diagram. So first of all, this will be x and x. And they will not meet here. Now just let me write it this way. So this is point B, and they are meeting at this point, kind of P. Okay, let me just call that this is entire 100 kilometer. Okay, so now this time this car is moving in this direction, again with a y kilometer per hour. Fine. So y kmph, it's moving here, x kmph, this is moving here, and this A and B, between A and B it's the same distance, 100 kilometers. So they meet at this point somewhere here, and they meet in 1 hour only. So obviously A traveled from here to here for 1 hour, and B traveled from here to here for 1 hour. Okay, fine. So distance traveled by A would be dA, this one, and again distance traveled by B would be dB, this one, and again I am getting an equation. Which equation? The distance traveled by A plus B is equals to 100, should be 100. So I'll write distance traveled by A plus distance traveled by B should be equal to 100. Fine, yeah, we got it. Now once we got it, distance traveled by A plus B is equals to 100, then what? It's pretty simple, speed into time. So speed for A is x, time is already given 1 hour. Okay, so you have to write x into 1. Fine, just give me a moment, sorry. Yeah, so you have to just put it there, and you have to solve it. So x into 1, because 1 hour, x into 1 is x, and plus y into 1, because distance speed of y is speed of B is y, and time is again 1. So y plus 1, y into 1, y equals to 100. So you got the second equation, x plus y equals to 100. Don't you think it's very easy, man? You have to just put this y plus 20 here. You have to just put y plus 20 here. You'll get the speed y kilometers per hour, speed of B. If I'm not wrong, that's y plus 20. It should be 40 kilometers per hour. Yeah, 40, and then 40 plus 20, 60 kilometers per hour for the x value. So x should be 60 and y should be 40. Let's check it out. So here we go. 60 and 40. Yeah, 60 and 40 kilometers per hour. I don't think it was tough. You have to just understand this diagram, and always I would suggest you that whenever you solve these type of questions, make it on a diagram. It would be much easy, because this distance related problem, they are complicated if you don't make a diagram. Okay, chalo, let's move on. Here's the next question. This next question talks about the area of rectangle gets reduced by 9 square units if the length is reduced by 5 units and breadth is increased by 3 units. Now first of all, I have a doubt that I don't know length, neither do I know about breadth. So I will have to assume something. So okay, fine. I'm again assuming length to be x and breadth to be y. Fine. Now question would be easy for me. So question says area of rectangle. So what is the area of rectangle if you have got length and breadth? Obviously area of rectangle is going to be xy. Area of rectangle xy gets reduced by 9, means this is minus 9, this becomes minus 9. When it becomes like this, if its length that is x is reduced by 5, means x becomes x minus 5, and breadth increased by 3 units, means breadth becomes b plus 3. So obviously if I am going to multiply them, length into breadth, because this is new length into new breadth, if I am going to do that, I am going to get the new area. Very simple, yeah. So if I'm going to get the new area, it should be equal to this one. Isn't it that what the question is saying? Area of a rectangle gets reduced by 9 square units if you reduce the length and increase the breadth. So yes, we have got the first equation. Here you will have to do multiplication, x, this is not, this is not b, this is y. This is y, printing error. So x into y, you have to solve it, and once you solve it, you'll get the answer. So if I'm not wrong, your first equation should be, I'll just write it down, 3x minus 5y equals to 6. That should be our first equation. Okay, fine, we have got the first equation. Now if I talk about the second one, if we increase the length by 3 units, means x is increased to 2x plus 3, and breadth by 2 units. If we increase length by 3 units and breadth by 2 units, so breadth y is also increased, y plus 2. The area increases by 67 square units, means is equals to area, which is xy, is increased by 67. Area is increased by 67. Now you have to again do the multiplication and blah blah blah. You have to get the equation. Here you will get 2x plus 3y is equals to 61. This is the second equation. This is the first equation. Fine. And find the dimension of the rectangle. So you can find it out. Yeah, why not? You can find it out. Okay. So x and y, you have to just calculate it and find the final value. Okay, let me just show it, because here I am not, means it will take time for me to calculate it. So I'm not doing it in my mind. So let's see the solution, as that would be simple. 2x plus 3y equals to 61, the second equation which we got, and 3x minus 5y equals to 6, the first equation which we got. Solving both of them, you would be getting x equals to 17 and y equals to 9. Fine. That is, the length is 17 and breadth is 9. Eureka. Fine. So yes, that was all for today's session. So guys, if you have liked the session, do not forget to like the video, share it with your friends and subscribe the channel. And along with this, if you are interested in learning more with me and with many other master teachers of Vedantu here live, then you can go to this link, vdnt.in/ytpro, which is there in the description box as well. You can click on this link. Once you go to this link, you'll find a page like this where you have to select your grades, for which grade you want to have a live session with me and many other master teachers. Thereafter, you need to select CBSE, ICC, whatever is your board. After that, you'll get a page like this where you'll get all the information. You have to click on get subscription. Once you click on this get subscription, you'll be redirected to a page like this where you have to choose the tenure. 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, whatever module you want. So choose that time period. You'll get the prices according to that. And thereafter, here you have to put the coupon code, which is my coupon code, my personal coupon code, HPE Pro. HPE Pro. PRO. Okay. So HPE Pro. Just put that coupon code. Now, whatever is the discounted price, over and above that, you will get a 15% extra discount. A 15% extra discount. So you'll get the final amount, and then you're good to start. Okay. So yeah, I'll be waiting for all of you guys in that subscription session. So till then, it's time to say goodbye. See you all guys in the next session. Till then, bye bye. Take care and good night. Bye bye.